There's a moment that you probably can't even pinpoint when it started. Not a specific day, not a big event, but at some point, you begin to feel like your child has changed. They used to tell you everything, small things, big things, all of it. Now, when you ask, the answers are short. I'm fine, just busy, maybe later. And the strange part is, you can't really be angry, but you also can't pretend you don't feel anything. You start wondering, did I say something wrong? Was I too involved? Or maybe they just don't need me anymore. If you've ever felt this, you're not alone. This happens in many families, and most of the time, it's not because love is gone. It's because of small things that keep happening without anyone noticing. Let's look at real situations. One day, your child comes home. They look tired. You ask, "What's wrong?" They say, "Work's been stressful." And you immediately respond, "That's why you need to manage your time better. You shouldn't push yourself like that. I used to work too, but not like this." To you, that sounds like care. But to them, it feels like they're not being heard. What they actually needed was simple. Not advice, not solutions. Just someone who says, "That sounds exhausting. Do you want to talk about it?" A small shift, but a powerful one. Another situation. Your child opens up about a life decision, maybe about work, or a relationship, or something you don't fully agree with. And you say, "Are you sure about that? That's not a good idea. You should do it this way." You're trying to protect them, but what they feel is they're not trusted. And slowly, they stop sharing. Not because they don't love you, but because every conversation feels like being judged. There are also more subtle moments. You call them, they say, "I'll call you back, I'm busy." And you respond, "You're always busy. You never have time for your parents." You're being honest, but what they feel is pressure. And pressure makes people pull away. This is what many parents don't realize. They think, "I'm just being caring." But what the child feels is controlled, judged, not trusted. And when someone feels that repeatedly, they don't argue. They distance themselves, quietly, without conflict, without drama. So the question is, can this be fixed? The answer is yes, but not in the way most people try. Not by saying, "Why have you changed? You're different now. Don't you care about your parents anymore?" Because that only makes them shut down more. The change starts with something simple, the way you respond. Imagine the same situation again. Your child comes home tired. They say, "Work's been stressful." This time, you don't jump into advice. You say, "That sounds really tough. It must be exhausting, huh?" And then you pause. You give them space to speak. At first, they might still keep it short, but over time, they begin to open up because they feel safe. Another situation. They share a life decision. Instead of saying, "That's wrong," you say, "I'm curious. What made you choose that?" Now you're not judging. You're inviting them to share. And that makes them feel respected. Another small shift. When they don't call often, don't go straight into blame. Instead of saying, "You never call me," try saying, "I really enjoy talking to you." Same message, different feeling. One feels like pressure. The other feels like warmth. And people always respond better to warmth. This is the most important truth. Your child is not pulling away because they don't love you. They're pulling away because they don't feel comfortable being themselves around you. And that comfort can be rebuilt, not by becoming a perfect parent, but by becoming someone who listens, doesn't rush to judge, creates space. Change won't happen overnight. It may feel awkward at first, unnatural even. But if you stay consistent, something will shift, little by little. Conversations become longer, their tone becomes softer, they start showing up without being asked. And one day, you feel something that was missing: connection. Not because you forced it, but because you created a space they wanted to come back to. Remember this: relationships don't break from one big mistake. They fade from small things, repeated over time. And the good news is, that means they can also be rebuilt through small things, done consistently. So if today you feel like your child is pulling away, don't panic, don't blame, don't chase. Start with one simple thing: listen, without judgment. Because sometimes what your child needs is not a parent with answers, but a parent who is truly present.